Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And this video is going to be about narcissists and text messaging. So, there's kind of a double-edged sword to this when it comes to narcissists and text messaging, which means that you want to avoid debates when it comes to text messaging. And this is the thing, text messaging, let's go back to when text messaging did not exist. Okay. So playing on somebody's phone. Okay. So you kind of had to do everything through a phone call type mechanism. But now it's an easier way to harass somebody, pick at somebody, show someone you don't care about them. And it can be done through text messaging. And even empathic people are falling into this wheel of misery, so to speak, when it comes to text messaging. So I'm going to give you a peer example. So the reason I'm doing this video is number one, I promised that I would do a video on narcissists and text messaging. Also, at a later date, I'm going to do a separate video on empaths and text messaging. And remember, empaths, that's not a normal personality if you are actually an empath. Because, like H.G. Tudor says, you got normals, which means they're low on empathy and low on narcissism. They're just normal. Then you got empaths. They're a mixture of both. They got the narcissistic traits and a lot of empathy, but their empathy usually will always override their narcissism. And then you have narcissistic people, which means they have a low or small envelope for empathy. And then, of course, you have the narcissist, which they do not have emotional empathy, but some of them will be able to process cognitive empathy. And this is H.G. Tudor. This is what he teaches, and I would agree with it. However, I'm also going to add, if you are what you would call an empath, you're going to have the most empathy. So you should be able to use both. You should have emotional empathy and a lot of cognitive empathy, which means it's not always coming from your emotions. You're processing empathy through the brain. So as an aware empath, which that's what I refer to myself as an aware empath, I can have both. I can have empathy where I think it through patience and calmness, and I can have emotional empathy where I can feel the pain of someone else that will be a driving force for me to help. So anyway, this video is going to be about narcissists and text messaging. So this is a situation that happened to me quite recently. So, and I'm naming the video Narcissist and Text Messaging. And keep in mind, that particular person may not be a narcissist per se, but the act of what they're doing is highly narcissistic. So I'm going to put it under the subject matter of narcissists and text messaging. So I received a call, and what the individual did, they allowed their phone to ring twice. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, let me just try to do a sample phone call, right? And see what happens. So it just literally rings twice. Okay. So imagine you call someone. Usually I allow the phone to ring through. Let's see how many times a phone will ring. So I don't know how this will work. One, two, and I hang up right there. Okay, that's the example. So I call someone and it rings twice. So by the time you answer the phone, or by the time you reach out for your phone, I was laying down when I got this phone call. So I reach out for the phone, and immediately as I'm reaching out for the phone, the same individual is texting me at the same time. And this is what the text message said. Now, you can perceive this situation a little differently if you weren't actually there to witness what happened. So, say for example, which I do this sometimes, I leave my phone downstairs or upstairs. And if you do not, as far as my phone, I don't know how fancy y'all phone is. This video is going to be very interesting. Thank you so much for y'all tuning in to the live. And thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it a whole lot. And one thing about my channel, we not dummies. Okay, we're all trying to get smarter, but I give you real live examples to help you navigate and how to better things. Okay, so this individual, I was laying in bed, had my phone there, and I gave you the example. Okay, I called one of my family members' phone because I know they're not going to answer because they're asleep. And that phone rings twice, I hung it up. Okay, so in this case, me doing this to my family member, it doesn't even ring enough times for the person to wake up. So it's obvious I was not trying to talk to this relative that's in the house, right? I just let it ring twice. I'm not having an urgent medical crisis and I can't get another room because I let it ring twice. So when somebody rings your phone twice, they're not really trying to reach you. Okay. Sometimes in rare cases, you're hanging up right quick because a customer came and you're on your job and a customer just walked up. So you got to hang up. But that wasn't the point of why this person did it. So when the person allows my phone to ring 2 times and hang up, and immediately I get a text that says, "Oh, I see now you don't want to pick up." Now, I wouldn't have thought much of it, but I just so happened to be near my phone. So I know what the person did. They did not want me to pick up. So they're trying to, in this instance, provoke me in some sense. And also provoke me into a text dispute. And this is not what texting should be used for. And this is why texting benefits empathic people, people with empathy that are not narcissists. It benefits you in this way. You're allowed to receive the text and it will show a person's intentions and their nature towards you. That's how this texting stuff benefits you. It allows a narcissistic person or a narcissist to show you how they perceive you. Okay, so this was a whole setup. Now, if I hadn't have been by my phone, as I said, I wouldn't have known what was up. So how did I respond to this? I did not reply. I did not reply, and this is why. "Oh, I see now you don't want to pick up." There was never any, thank you so much for the text message. Not the text message, for the chat. So someone in the chat, Michael, let me see. Let me make sure I'm reading the name right. Michael Nicolas 3696. Thank you so much for putting exactly. I appreciate that chat. And yeah, so basically the person is trying to provoke you. And also this text it's kind of out the blue. So what happens is this text would make more sense if I had like a phone dispute with the person. Also, the text came in the morning, so it was before afternoon, not early in the morning. It came in between the hours of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. West Coast time. So I could be at work, right? Sometimes I don't go into work till the afternoon. Okay, I have things to do. I was actually laying in my bed still when this text came. So going into the next year coming up, because we got the New Year's coming up soon, you don't want to keep being ensnared in these situations with the text messaging. And the individual that called me and allowed the phone to ring twice and hung up, the intention was never to talk to me. It was to hang up quick enough. And ironically, as soon as the phone hung up, this text message came through so quickly, it almost made it kind of look like the text was already prepared. It almost seemed kind of premeditated. That's how it felt. So, Michael Nicholas, 3696, context is key. But I won't interrupt you. The first smart thing I've heard. So, what do you mean by that, Michael, when you say the first smart thing you've heard? That sounds like a good comment. I just want you to kind of elaborate a little bit more and explain what you mean by that. And thank you so much for participating in the chat. I love comments and for people to participate. And it's okay to interrupt me. You're in a live. You're not interrupting me because I have a choice to get to that comment when I'm able. So you're not interrupting me at all. I'm very grateful that you're participating in the chat. So when you come in my chats, especially when you're not being rude, don't ever feel like you're interrupting me. Michael Nicholas is very polite, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the other like. So I'll give you time to elaborate on it, Michael, and type more of what you mean. And if anyone has any questions, please ask questions. So yeah, with this, so okay, this is one example. So that example I just gave you is example number 1. So what I did in this case, I did not reply. I also did not return the phone call because this is the thing. It's to your advantage to not always tell what you know. Oh, okay. So let me pronounce. So I want to apologize for mispronouncing Michael's name. So the correct pronunciation is, and confirm if I'm saying it right, Michael Nicholas. Okay, so thank you for that. Michael Nicholas is the correct. Michael Nicholas at 3696. So I apologize for that. I love to say people's names correctly, and so I won't mess your name up again. So thank you so much for telling me the correct pronunciation. With YouTube, when you're doing lives, this is one thing I'll say. I wear glasses when I'm doing my lives, and it has the YouTube name very small. So if you notice YouTubers kind of mispronouncing a name, the print of their YouTube channel comes out so small to me. But what you're actually typing in the chat comes out bigger and bolder, if that makes sense. So it's kind of easy to mispronounce a name. I'm not making an excuse, but that's why, especially if you wear glasses like I do. And I do wear readers. So Michael Nicholas, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. I won't do it again. Okay, Michael Nicholas says that I've heard a lot of people rambling in circles without a main topic. Yeah, and exactly. I try to, what I do in my lives, Michael Nicholas, I actually, the thing with my lives, it's not that I go in circles. I know what you mean with people going in circles where they never have a main subject matters. But what I will do sometimes is I will change the subject to bring up other things that's very interesting. It's kind of like in a live. In some of my lives, I've even reviewed my lives, and I could learn about 15 to 20 things just from one live. So I try to make a live very informative. And so with this live, I definitely will stay on subject, but I will give you a lot of information. So I did not call this person back because they let my phone ring twice and they hung up. And I caught what they did. because I happen to have my phone with me. So when you catch what a person does, and they sent this text almost like it was already prepared, or they just did it so quickly. They sent the text so quickly, they're trying to make it seem like I'm the one that doesn't want to be bothered, when in actuality, they're the one that hung up. So when they called me, the call came through to antagonize me, to provoke me into a text dispute. And also, it's the beginning of kind of running your day, and your day starting out on a bad note and in a bad way. So I did not reply, and I have not returned the call, because in the era that I was raised in, people could not do this to you because there wasn't text messaging. Okay. So now, narcissistic people or narcissists or anyone, they can pick at you and antagonize you and abuse and mistreat you through the text message. So you have to understand what someone is doing. And someone that's doing this is not per se wanting to have a friendly relationship with you. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why you're doing it. In this particular text message, this individual is a male, and he most likely may be doing it because I'm not doing what he wants me to do, and I'm not replying to a lot of stuff. Like, for one, this is a friend of ours that's married. Okay, this is a good friend of ours that's married, and he oftentimes will use like a work phone or a business phone that he has with his employer, and he will text every day or every other day from that phone, the good morning text and stuff like that. And the thing is, there needs to be boundaries. And for married people, if you notice your single friends, because married people do have single friends, because a lot of these friends they knew before they got married. If you notice your single friends are not coming by the house as much, or not engaging, or not hanging around you as much, it's because sometimes your spouse, husband or wife, is making them feel uncomfortable. Because what happens, this is the thing, when you are unmarried, like myself, there's a male predatory behavior that happens with some males, where they think they have the right to sneak behind their spouse's back, flirt around. And with a lot of people now, a lot of married people, they're believing in this polygamy stuff, and they believe in it's all kind of names for polygamous relationships. And that's a bad road, because it makes them feel like they're not cheating on their spouse. So the thing is, when someone is married, even my own boyfriend, even when it's my boyfriend, if the boyfriend is not living in the home with me, then the boundary is, you're not the person's wife, right? And it may be the same way. I mean, some men may do the same thing, but if I'm not married to this individual and we're not living together, I don't have to be in contact with you through texting every day. This everyday communication, in my opinion, is for situations with really close relatives, really good friends that have your best interests at heart, which you a lot of times can't find a lot of those nowadays, and for people that live in the home. So as a single woman, I can pick up on the fact, because I do one of these things, y'all. I think what would I name it? I put more thought into it. Okay. And when I put more thought into it, when this individual was texting me from their work phone, and I'll give you an example of how that went. Michael Nicholas, I'm going to reply to you in just a second once I get this point across. So I'm seeing the comment. I'm letting you know that I'm seeing your chat, and I'll be commenting on that right away, okay? Or in a couple of minutes. Just give me a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to give you an example of how some of this text messaging can go. So this is the thing married friends will do, or people that are married. So they're texting you at a certain portion of the day, okay? And usually kind of like when they're at work. So what happened initially from a work phone, I got this call back in the beginning of the year. I didn't know who the number was from. So I sent a text and I asked, who is this? Sometimes I'm not so quick to answer numbers that I don't know what the number is. I said, who is this? So then within a couple of months later, someone says, hello, beautiful. And the thing with the beautiful word, I understand this. When a male is saying this and he's not saying I have a beautiful personality. Now, if the male or man is out of state and he says to you over the phone, you know, you really have a beautiful personality, that's a genuine compliment. But most males and men, when they're telling a woman that they're beautiful, it has a sexual intent towards it. No man is telling me I'm beautiful unless it's maybe a relative or something like that. Even with relatives, you gotta like maybe question the motive. So at this point, I figured out some kind of way who the person was, maybe. So I also kept it confidential that I knew who was saying I was beautiful. I don't remember at what point I actually took a phone call from this work number. I can't remember back that far, but I said, who is this? They ignored it. Okay. They never told me who it is. And within those 2 months, the person contacted me and I answered the phone. So I was able to figure out who it was. And then 2 months after, they were saying, hello, beautiful. So that came on a Tuesday. Okay. Then I'm not replying, okay, to these texts as of right now. Then on a Friday, I get a text. Then I get another text on a Tuesday saying good afternoon. Then I get a text on a Wednesday saying good morning. Then on a Thursday, they're saying hello. So this is how this text stream is going. Okay, now I'm not replying to any of this as of yet. But at some point, because I'm familiar with the person, I did reply through a video format, okay? And I began to send, spiritual videos, and the person asked for a video because they wanted to see an athletic item that I had, because we talk about other things. So at some point I do begin to text, but it's when it's prevalent or when it matters, like when there's a video and stuff like that. So usually I'm not replying, okay? So there was a hello text on a Friday, a good afternoon text on a Tuesday, then there's a hello text on a Wednesday. Then on a Monday, he's asking me, what's my problem? Okay, this is in another text example. So I gave you number one when the male was saying, I guess you don't want to talk to me. Now this is him asking, what's my problem? I don't have a problem. The problem is with him. See, I'm doing it passive aggressively. So what I'm saying to him is, stop sneaking around behind your wife's back. It's not cool. Don't do this to your wife. So the last 4 or 5 texts, 4 texts I haven't replied, because now I'm, as an empathic person, I have empathy for his wife. I'm just a family friend. This ain't my boyfriend or nothing like that. I've never been married to this individual. So at this point, I'm pulling myself out of this game. And you want to pull yourself out of these games with narcissists and texting, because what if they wife see it? Then it's looking like that you're pursuing their husband or their wife. It could be a woman or a lady doing this to you. So the texts come, look, and notice these texts never come on the weekend because he's not at this job on the weekend. He's texting me on a Tuesday at 1, a Friday at almost 11, another Tuesday at almost 1, on a Wednesday at 9, Thursday at almost noon, then another Tuesday at 11, another Thursday, almost 1, another Friday, hi, good afternoon, at almost noon. Notice none of this will be Saturday and Sunday. So, hello on a Thursday at almost 10, Friday at 9, okay, Friday at 1 p.m., Wednesday at almost 9 a.m. And then on this particular Wednesday, he's saying, I said good morning. See, what's happening in this text message communication, he's also showing his controlling nature. So he's saying, I said good morning. So basically, you better reply. Okay. And this is where a narcissistic person or a narcissist, they're giving the game away. Because now he's saying, he didn't add look to it, but I'm going to add this. Look, I said good morning. But in this instance, someone's acting highly narcissistic because they're acting like you don't have nothing to do. Okay. Like as if you're their priority. And then another day, okay, this was on a Monday. So he's noticing from this work phone, I normally will not reply. So one day he texts me on a Monday, then the next Tuesday, the very next day, he says, let's try it again. Hello, good afternoon. So basically, he's disciplining me for not replying to the text that he's doing on his work phone that he should not be doing. See, I'm not getting ready to be in the middle of somebody getting rolled up at their job. It's the employer's phone. I wouldn't be texting nobody on my work phone unless I was like a private contractor or something. I don't know what agreement he has with his job, but I wouldn't utilize my work phone for this. But the reason he's utilizing his work phone for this is because he's married. So narcissist and text messaging. So the benefit is the narcissist is showing you their bad intentions towards you. See, when a married individual is behaving like this with their single family friends, this is a very bad person. They're disrespecting not just the single person, because I'm single because I don't have to be married. I don't want to be married. See, because being unmarried, I don't have to go through this. See, this is the thing. Being unmarried, this ain't my husband. So I don't have to deal with this bullshit, right? So this is the advantage of being unmarried, that this particular man is not really sneaking behind my back because I'm not his wife. Thank the Lord that I'm not in a situation like this. When I was married to an unfaithful man. He was having an affair with one of my bridesmaids. Okay, imagine that. The bridesmaid husband snapped out because he's the one that caught him. Now, I was very young and naive. I took up for my ex-husband and acted like the bridesmaid husband was some sort of abuser that was after my man or something and wanted to jump on my man. Hell yeah, he wanted to jump on my man or my ex because he caught both of them smooching in the vehicle when both of them was supposed to be on their way to work. So I was already married to a narcissist. They do cheat. They don't have no respect for their wives or their husbands. They just don't. It's a bad, bad deal being married to a narcissist. It is, because this is the type of stuff they do. My ex-husband was probably doing the same thing, sending emails and messages to his coworkers, because that was the email era. So he probably was doing the same type of stuff. But ultimately, the married man says, "What's your problem? I'm not replying to any of this. I'm getting out this game." Right? So what I'm doing is showing empathy for this individual's job, because I'm recognizing that he's on the work phone and I don't want to be a part. He can delete these text messages before he leaves work, but he can delete them. That's fine. But what about this? What about not sending them in the first place? So I'm showing empathy. Number one is I'm protecting the married man from getting in trouble at his job. Number two, I'm preventing ensnarement, so I'm not entangled in him and his wife mess. Three, I'm respecting his wife because I love his wife. Okay. So I'm actually respecting his wife more than he is. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let me see. I'm trying to add this up. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I've ignored at least 15 to 20 messages just from this work phone text stream. Or let's say 10 to 20. Okay. Because some of them I replied to, but I'm catching myself. And he's telling me, let's try it again. No, it ain't no try it again. I'm not responding. I don't want to be involved. Another reason, I guess the fourth reason would be, with these good morning texts and this texting every day, it's an easy way to destroy a good friendship in the long run. And also, it makes me have an extra duty to do every day. So if you got 10 people texting you good morning or how you doing, these are 10 text messages for 10 different people that now you're obligated to respond to. It's unnecessary. Just pick up your phone and call people. Now, this individual calls me as well, but just call me. So the last text that was sent, so on one phone, so keep this in mind. I want to point this out. All of these text messages, for example, number 1 and example number 2, they're coming from the same individual. Okay, these are not two different people. It's just that he's using two different phones. So on the first text message where he calls and rings it twice and hangs up, so he made that call at almost 11 a.m. So he says, "Oh, I see now you don't want to pick up. I didn't have an opportunity to pick it up. And I don't have to go back and forth with him because he's not my man." See, this is what happens with a lot of single people that are unmarried. You don't enjoy your single life. I don't have to go back and forth with this man because this ain't my man. Okay. And a lot of married people, what they'll do this type of stuff when their spouses are out of town, they're on business trips. They'll start up stuff because, whether you believe it or not, some people are highly judgmental. And males may think when you're unmarried, they view you as a sitting duck, and they may not truly understand the healthiness and the healthy life that you're living, not being in chaos. And their wives probably are back and forth with them. Or what a lot of married men do too, especially when they're presenting respectful in front of their wives and they really don't want to, highly narcissistic men, they take it out on other women. So they got to put up this heavy facade like they're good in front of their wife. So what they're doing, they're finding other females to show predatory behavior towards, and they're attacking other single females. It's like sitting ducks. So married men, they view women that are unmarried like you don't have a protector and you're like a sitting duck. Almost like they have a sense of entitlement, like they have the right to abuse you. These texts are abusive. Because for one, the one where he rang my phone twice, he called my phone from their family phone. Okay, so in this instance, he's calling from the marital phone, which is fine because I have contact at some point with him and his wife. I'm friends with them. So he's doing this from the marital phone. And this is what I prefer. Whether it's my pastor, um, someone in the community, a family friend, a neighbor, call me from your marital phone. Don't do this behind your wife's back. So both of these text message attacks, I did not respond to them because he can just call me. Okay. If he has something to say or he wants to talk about anything, just call me. That's all he got to do. I'm not hiding anything. When this gentleman calls me from their family phone, I don't feel like I'm sneaking around. I don't want to be in a position where I'm sneaking around with somebody else's husband. I don't care if I've known the man since I was a kid. Okay. But like I said, people will have a sense of entitlement. So with narcissists and text messaging, what you want to do is stop the game early on. The message that he sent me from the family phone, I did not reply. I also have not responded through phone call because remember that one phone call, he only let it ring twice and hung up. I gave you an example of how that would be. I called my relative's phone in the house. I didn't let it ring enough times to wake my relative up. I just called twice. I did an example for you. Ringing somebody's phone twice and hanging up right quick, you're not trying to reach them. If you're really trying to reach them, you continue to let the phone ring. Okay, so I gave those two examples. I did not reply. And the reason I feel this video is so important is because it will prevent you from being ensnared, as HD Tutor would say, and I'm going to say entangled and getting in these narcissist mess. You will live a much more peaceful life. So what I will do with this individual, I'm going to make sure that I don't have a texting relationship with this gentleman anymore, unless it's something that has to do with a video. Oh, and a third thing, there was a spiritual video that was sent from this gentleman to me. And I said, thank you, brother, for the video. And he responded and told me I was not he wasn't my brother. But then later in another text, he called me his sister, like in a sister brother, not biological. So let me read this message here. So I'm going to give you a third example. So Michael Nicholas says, I deal with a narcissistic mom. She's very toxic. Had I not survived a 12+ minute anoxic brain injury, 106.7, heat stroke from fentanyl overdose, never did it, I'd be different. So I am so sorry to hear that, Michael Nicholas. So basically you're saying that was the fentanyl, were you laced with it, or did you take the fentanyl voluntarily, if you don't mind me asking? Michael Nicholas, are you still here? Now on this channel, I'm kind of tough on drug abuse, right? I had several narcissists in my family too. My grandmother was highly narcissistic at times, very neglectful and emotionally abusive, but she had plenty of money. And there was times in my life where she was not emotionally abusive. But I'm going to tell you this, Michael Nicholas, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, right? A parent being narcissistic, that does not give you an excuse to almost kill yourself. You was minding your business. So someone put the fentanyl on your stuff, is what you're saying, Michael Nicholas? Okay, no matter what, if someone put fentanyl on your stuff, you still had to voluntarily put your mouth on it. So I'm just going to tell you this. I love you, Michael Nicholas, and never let a narcissistic person get you to the point where you want to use drugs and you're going to kill yourself. And this is why. When you get through unaliving yourself, yeah, someone laced your cigarette. Okay, so when you get through trying to unalive yourself, your narcissistic mom is still going to be around. That's the sad part about these situations, right? So what I did with my when my grandmother was acting narcissistic, I fled her. I was 17, 18 years old, and I just got away from her, and I never moved back with her. My grandmother treated me when her restaurant closed and she was grieving over her restaurant. She treated me like a piece of furniture that she didn't want to tend to. I mean, she literally left me and my young child, because I was a teenage mom. She left us upstairs in the residential part of the restaurant, because we were living in the residential part of the restaurant that was upstairs from the restaurant when it closed. And she left us up there to die like we weren't even human. So I get the narcissistic mom. My mom was narcissistic as well. She was over there laid up with one of her husbands, acting like she ain't even got kids. But I never let any of these women get me on no dope. I just got away from them. I visited them, talked to them on the phone, and I kept both of them out my freaking house. My mom was highly narcissistic, and my grandmother behaved like a full-blown narcissist sometimes. At least with my mom, I could talk to her on the phone, and we have some kind of attachment that way. My mom gave me good advice over the phone, so she showed over the phone some level of empathy. And my grandmother showed empathy too, because one of the things my grandmother always allowed was for me to live in her residence, whether it was over the restaurant or at the residences that my grandmother had outside of her restaurant. Okay. So my grandmother always welcomed me. But at the end of the day, you don't leave no 17-year-old and no 1-year-old upstairs and you never come check on them. And you sit down in the dining room part of your restaurant. Any day now, you're waiting for the bank to come put you out of there, and you're acting like you don't have a family and treating your restaurant like that's actually your baby when your actual babies are upstairs, which was myself and my 1-year-old, because I understand now that as a 17-year-old teenager, I'm still a child. I have a teenager here right now that lives at home. I couldn't imagine just leaving my son Daniel upstairs and never checking on him. Can you imagine how cruel that is? So, Michael Nicholas, what I'm saying is I have compassion for what you're going through, but stay away from anyone that smokes cigarettes. This is my advice to you. Pure love, okay? I'm going to talk to you just like you're my own son. I'm not going to be acting like a narcissistic mom to you. I'm saying this from all the empathy and love in my heart. Don't let a narcissistic mother or any narcissistic woman bring you to that point. Get away from her. If you living in her house, get out of there. That's what I did with my grandmother. I got out of there. I moved out of state. I never moved back there. Narcissistic parents, you got to keep them out your house too. My mother that was acting narcissistic, and my grandmother, they both were violent towards me. Both of them did things to me that could have killed me. My grandmother too. I talked about it on one video. My grandmother smothered me. At another time, she sat on me in her restaurant when there's customers there. And when I look back at this situation, I wasn't doing anything to my grandmother. not to be deserving of that. What it was is she was overworked, tired, waking up at 6 in the morning, working to midnight. My grandmother was addicted to money and her business. She wasn't addicted to me. My mother, her priority was the man she would be with at the time, which was her husband's. And her husband came first. She acted like me and my sister were not in existence. My mother, a lot of times, would call my grandmother to talk to her on the phone and wouldn't even talk to her own kids. So I get what you're saying with the narcissistic mother and grandmother, but the thing is, because I have empathy, I kept a relationship with them. I visited them. I never cussed them out or got violent with them. So I was always welcomed where they lived. But like in my grandmother's case, I just never stayed the night again at her residence. Because, after I moved out and went out of town, she had to move to another location. So when I did come visit, even when I came to visit my grandmother, she was always starting shit with me. And when I look back on it, now since I'm getting older, she was jealous. My grandmother had some envy towards me. For one, I escaped. Okay. And there was some sort of envy. I mean, I could even look back to where she never let me run her cash register. She never taught me to run her cash register. Maybe if she would have taught me and my sister more about the business, she would still be in business. Do you think I would have a business? I would start a business. I plan on starting a little small business, like for fun, like just selling stuff, like selling like hair products and stuff like that. I want to do stuff like that for fun. Selling like just different things, household products, things like that. I want to do that like for fun, kind of like having like some fun yard sales or like a consignment shop, right? So I want to do that for fun. And the first person that I've clued in on it is my relatives that live at home. When you got a family business, why wouldn't you want to teach your granddaughters how to run your register and stuff? It was just crazy. So I look back on that and I could see some signs of some sort of a little subtle jealousy because my grandmother was a very jealous woman. I saw her have personal jealousy towards one particular lady that was a relative. She was very jealous of her because she was protective of her children. The cousin said, she didn't want her children in the restaurant with all those strangers. And those are strangers. When you got 2- and 3-year-olds, they shouldn't be running around with these strangers. I don't care if they have just left church. That's how kids come up missing, right? Kidnapped her. One of the customers could pick up one of the kids and just walk out the side door with one of them. Okay, so my grandmother envied that. She envied the fact that that particular cousin was protective of her children. So I am so sorry. I get how it feels to have narcissistic parents. I get it. But the thing is, at no point is it okay to smoke cigarettes or do drugs. And if the narcissistic parent, Michael Nicholas, if your narcissistic mother is giving you drugs, because in some cases, the narcissistic parent will give the child drugs. I was just watching a video, right? And this particular mom, she was on a video. Her and her mom was on a video, and she's allowing her daughter to say they gonna kill motherfuckers and stuff like that. Let me play it for you so you can hear this crap. And fair use, y'all. This daughter ended up killing her own mother, okay? But Her mother is a prior drug addict. This is a narcissistic mom. It's not right that her 16-year-old daughter killed her. However, she's on a video with her own daughter saying, "No, we gonna kill motherfuckers." So she has the wrong type of relationship with her daughter. So let me let you hear it. 16-year-old shoots mother. Okay.
Loved ones are speaking out after Galveston police say a mother was shot and killed. Authorities say, by her daughter.
I gotta think of a way to get this money back to mom. Huh? I gotta think of a way to get. Huh? I gotta think of a way to get this money back to mom.
I'm trying to see how I can get your daddy to pick you up by tomorrow. Huh? I'm trying to see how I can get your. Huh? I'm trying to see how I can get your daddy to pick you up by tomorrow. Hell, I'm trying to do hot girl shit.
5 gunshots.
You hear this? How the mom is talking? So she's talking to her own daughter and saying, "I'm trying to figure out how your daddy gonna pick you up tomorrow so I can do hot girl shit." So she's this narcissistic mom. She's a horrible role model for her little girl. Now, I don't approve of the child shooting her 5 times, but this mom gets an F minus for being such a horrible role model. This is not her home girl or a girl that she in a gang with. She act like that they both in some kind of gang, like they in the Crips or Bloods or one of the Mexican gangs, MS-13s. That's how she acting. I think that's the name of one of the Mexican gangs, right? So she acting like she, and I'm pointing that out because gangs are not just black and white people. Crips and Bloods, you usually think of like white or black people, but you got the MS-13s. That's worse than any Crip or Blood. They will chop your freaking toes off. So fair use, y'all. Listen to this.
5 gunshots. That's what it took. 5 shots from a 16-year-old girl to kill the woman who gave her life. Not a stranger, not some random person on the street. Her mother.
Yeah, exactly. So Michael Nicholas, he just left a comment. He says, "Damn, terrible, but the daughter gets zero excuse, but it's at least understandable." Yeah, but what happens is sometimes we do what we're being taught to do. So the daughter shouldn't have did it, but ask yourself this: where'd she get the gun from? Probably her shit talking mom, right? Because her mom, I'm gonna let you hear how in one part of the video, her mom is talking with her daughter saying they both gonna kill people. So 9 times out of 10, and they not talking about just killing, they saying shoot them. So before this daughter, the 16-year-old daughter shot her mom is in a video saying they gonna shoot people. So 9 times out of 10, she probably got the gun from the house, from her mom. I mean, I don't know where she got the gun from, but it sounds like it's probably from the mama house. So the mother didn't secure the gun. This is a very inappropriate relationship to be having with your daughter.
Who gave her life. Not a stranger, not some random person on the street. Her mother, Tiamoya Moore, 34 years old, was on her porch in Galveston, Texas when her...
So the mother's 34 years old. Very sad. I'm totally against kids killing their parents. But when the child is being taught to kill and to act like a gangster, and the narcissistic mother, because we was just talking about narcissistic mothers, is teaching this behavior, what do you expect is going to happen when the kids have such easy access? Yeah, thank you, Michael Nicholas, 3696. Yes, this is a very important comment. Such a smart gentleman. Damn, her mother enabled her own murder by saying we're going to kill people. Exactly. She set the spirit of the murder. That's what she's teaching her to do. But see, with narcissistic mothers, you know what their problem is? They think they're exempt. Her narcissistic mother thought she was special. When she's talking this shit with her daughter, she don't even think that the daughter gonna kill her. Me, I think different because I'm not parenting like a narcissistic mother. So I know that child gonna kill me. If I get on a video with my own son and we're not like doing a movie for Hollywood, I mean, come on now. They was just doing this on a Facebook Live or video or something. It ain't like they saying, you know what, we're gonna do this movie for Hollywood and they're just acting. They weren't acting. This is serious. So yeah, thank you so much, Michael Nicholas, for saying that. She shouldn't kill her mom. And of course she will be penalized for it. But so fair use, I'm gonna let you finish hearing the video. So fair use, y'all. Wait till you get to the part where, and in my lives, when the video ends, when this live ends, I put this video in the description box below so you can watch the whole video. I always do that. So when I use a fair use video on this channel, I put it within 5 to 10 minutes of this live ending. It will be in the description box below so you can actually watch this too, okay?
Yamoya Moore, 34 years old, was on her porch in Galveston, Texas, when her eldest daughter, Renea, pulled that trigger 5 times.
So 34, her daughter was 16. So 26 to 7, 8 to 9, 31. So she was 18. She was a teenager herself when she had this daughter. But that don't mean you have a right to not act like a mom. So the mom was very young when she had this little girl. Fair use, y'all.
The neighbors heard the screaming first, then the bullets. And when police arrived,
so the neighbors heard the screaming and the bullets first.
Renea had run off, but oh, she came back. Let me tell you something. She came back to that scene. You're watching Shadowed Crimes TV. We tell the stories that need to be told. Domestic violence, toxic relationships, and the lives lost behind closed doors. No sugarcoating, no excuses, just the truth. If you're new here, subscribe and join us as we shed light on shadowed stories.
And please like, share, and subscribe here as well, y'all.
Don't buy that camera.
That's a commercial, so I apologize. Hold on. Fair use, y'all.
Now, before we get into what happened that September evening, you need to understand who Tiamoya Moore really was, because the internet tried to paint one picture, but the people who actually knew her, they'll tell you something completely different. Tiamoya was born July 17th, 1991, in Lamar, Texas. And look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend her life was perfect before everything went down.
Tia Moore, that's the mother, y'all.
It wasn't. This woman had fought through some things, relationships that didn't work, betrayal, substance abuse that nearly destroyed her.
She was a prior substance abuse user. So, you know, not all people that do substances behave like this with their kids. However, I believe this, when a parent has done substance abuse over a long period of time, it could affect the brain and it could affect parenting, because there could be potential brain issues there that, you know, because somehow Tia Moore, she's relating to her daughter like they, you know, in the same gang or something. So I'll let you get to that. But also, one of the other daughters, the younger daughter that was younger than the 16-year-old that shot her mom, she expressed that the mother was a good mother. And this happened because she grounded her daughter. She was put on punishment. So fair use, y'all.
It nearly destroyed her. She had demons, and for a long time, those demons were winning. But here's the thing that makes this
They're
whole
talking about the mother, y'all, that the mother had demons, not the child.
situation hit different. Tiamoya turned it around. In the months before her death, this woman found God, found sobriety, found her purpose. She was posting on social media about being alcohol-free and drug-free, celebrating those milestones like somebody who'd crawled out of a deep, dark hole and finally saw sunlight. Her friend Alicia said it best. Tia will give you the shirt literally off of her back. Tia loved her kids, would do anything for her kids.
And this is the thing. A lot of these type of parents are very giving. They will provide a home and stuff, but it's the emotional support that's missing in these situations. So yeah, it's good that Tia Mora was a provider, but the video I seen of where she's standing there with her daughter talking about they gonna kill people and shoot them, this is what they're saying together, then that creates a problem. So her 16-year-old daughter actually acts that out on her own mother because that's what she's being taught, right? So I think I've had disruptive teenagers going through their teen years. I think the best thing to do is to not teach them to kill in the first place, okay?
Would do anything for her kids. She was very spiritual, very into God, changed her life around for God. 5 children.
Yeah, she changed her life for God, but I don't know when the video was taken. I mean, she's on drugs and she's in a video with her daughter talking about them shooting people. So when did she give her life to God? Before she's on drugs and in this video with her daughter, like they're co-gang members. So when did she give her life to God? I think her life was already given to God before the drugs. But the thing is, she ain't just found no God, right? She been knew about God, but she's not behaving in a godly manner. And this is severe. This is a severe situation. So you got like little small sins, like you drink a coffee with one of your kids and it's too much sugar in the coffee. You do that every once in a while. Or you can go to the extreme because you're going to shit this coffee out, right? But you go to the extreme. If I go get my baby boy right now, the one that's a teenager, and talk about, yeah, we're going to shoot it up. We're going to shoot it up. That's a problem, right? It just is. It's a very, very big problem.
5 children. That's what Tia Moya had. And according to everyone who knew her, those kids were everything. Her reason to breathe, her reason to stay clean, her reason to keep fighting. Moving on to Renea, sometimes called Nia, the eldest daughter, 16 years
So this is her oldest daughter.
old when all this happened. Competitive dancer who'd spent time
She was 16 years old when all this happened, okay?
in California with her father's family, training and performing.
So the girl is doing the rump shaker with her hair past her butt, some artificial hair. So
And if you looked at old photos, you'd see a mother and daughter who actually had love between.
Michael Nicholas, when are you doing this again? What day and time? I'm off to bed. Yeah, so what you can do is just watch this live later. So watch this live later and remember to go in the description box below so you can see this entire video that I did on fair use. So I'll be doing a live later, I would say by like 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be doing a live. I normally don't give the dates, but I'll be doing it around that time. I don't know where you're located at, Michael, and I appreciate you coming in here. Oh, Michael Nicholas, I'm going to say this before you go to bed. Do the Lord's Prayer. I don't know what your faith is, and pray for your mother. But I explained, what I went through dealing with narcissism in my family, and I had to get away from my grandmother and my mother, but I did visit them and I talked to them. I was able to really have great conversations with my mother. There was a lot of things that my mother and I had in common and we agreed upon. And my mother over the phone was very pleasant to talk to. Now, my grandmother, when I moved out of town, my grandmother was not pleasant to talk to at all. Very, very mean to me. And sometimes they do that because of that jealousy. I got away. But I would visit their homes when I came into St. Louis. Every 3 or 4 years, I flew in. I attended both of their funerals. My mother was more in control of my grandmother's eulogy. And I conducted my mother's funeral, made sure her policy paid for the funeral. I took on my mother's disabled son and my older brother that I'm also in a no contact with. I don't play no games. Disabled or not, I'll go in no contact. I don't want no demons around me. I don't care if they disabled, they not disabled. Disabled people can be narcissists too. Okay, you in Snoqualmie, Washington? Yeah, your mom needs more than prayer. She needs a prosecution. I get it. Yeah, narcissistic parents will make you angry, but the what made me and helped me survive it was honor thy mother and just still this is your biological mother, right? Is she your biological mother or an adopted mother? Because I know there's a lot of Snohomish, Washington, there's a lot of adoptions in Washington state. That much I know because I'm on the West Coast as well. So is this your biological mother, Michael Nicholas, 3696? Or is this your adopted mother? Biological, yeah. So it hurts more when it's your biological mother. But what I suggest is if there's something horrible she's doing to you that's criminal, you have a right to protect yourself. And in cases like sexual abuse and all of that, get the police involved. If it's something really bad like that. And you just got to make a plan, Michael Nicholas, to flee this lady. What you don't want to do is kill her. She ain't worth it. A narcissistic parent, they ain't worth killing. You don't want to do one day in jail behind them. And a narcissistic parent, they cannot fully love you. My grandmother, she gave a lot though. She showed a lot of empathic traits. Just the fact that she took me in and allowed me to stay with her every day of my life, that's highly empathic. But the thing is with narcissistic grandmothers, they don't have the right to abuse somebody else's child. With a narcissistic grandmother, I'm still not her daughter, right? So to bring somebody else's child in and smother them, sit on them, belittle them, humiliate them, ignore them, neglect them, act like they a piece of furniture, it's not okay. You're already going through that from the narcissistic mother. So Michael Nicholas, you're going to have to get in a place where you're not around her as often. Some of them you got to go complete no contact with because the abuse is so severe. You can go on a YouTuber. I normally will not recommend this YouTuber, but I am in this case. Yeah, you wouldn't kill a fly, but a narcissistic parent don't mind killing your soul. See, they're killing you through killing your soul, leading you to drug abuse and stuff like that. Nothing sexual. Okay, that's good. I just brought that up because I've studied about some of that type of stuff. So I'm aware of the sexual abuse that goes on upon males. I've watched videos on this type of stuff and it's horrible. Okay, good. And I don't think you're of any harm to your mother, Michael Nicholas. I don't sense that. But and it's good. I'm not saying you would kill a killer, right? But the thing is, ongoing long-term emotional abuse, it's called a psychotic episode, right? So you want to be careful of what the brain does on its own. It's not what you want to do, but your brain can't handle it no more. So you have to be careful what the brain could go into, So narcissistic mothers and grandmothers are one of the things I learned about my grandmothers. I couldn't talk to her. If I tried to talk to her, it's not going to do any good. They're not listening to you. They view you as property. They're not listening to you. So much of what I could have said to my grandmother, I just never said. I just knew to get away from her. I just knew that any woman that would just leave me and my 1-year-old daughter upstairs like we just ain't nobody. And I think it's worse. I think it's worse when someone brings you in their residence and does that to you. I feel like this. If you're going to do your grandchildren that way, don't even let them live with you. Do it that way. But once you move your grandchildren in, you're accountable for how you treat them. Don't take custody. Don't be their guardian. Do it that way. Give them to somebody else. My grandmother could have gave myself, my grandmother could have gave me to somebody else. Just point blank. You don't do somebody's child like that. And I'm glad I made it through it. I appreciate the good things my grandmother did, but I'm bringing it up to my grandmother and mother, they're deceased now. I'm not mad with them at all. I just brought it up to let Michael Nicholas know that I understand what he's going through. So Michael Nicholas says she already ignored medication, Zoloft in my cup, and she gaslit me after implying I purposely did it to frame her and her boyfriend, and to cover poisoning her. I don't really like the medication Zoloft. I was around some people years ago and I seen the side effects to that. So I'm going to suggest this. Zoloft is an anxiety medication. And I'm just going to shake these pills for you. This is St. John's Wort, the Nature's Bounty. And I've talked about this on other videos. It's 300 milligrams. And I wouldn't suggest more than 900 milligrams a day. So up to 3 pills. Okay. And this is an anxiety herb. And it works. It works. It has no side effects that I know of. And it's Nature's Bounty brand. And they have it in Washington State, Michael Nicholas, 3696. You can get it like at CVS Pharmacy. This Nature Bounty. I get the capsules. There's 100 capsules in this bottle. Nature's Bounty brand, St. John's Wort, 300 milligrams. You can take up to 3 of them a day. Start out with 1 or 2, see how you feel. And it promotes a positive mood, and it's good for anxiety. Don't mess with Zoloft. I know they take it for anxiety. Those St. John's Wort may work, and you may have a better side effect. And if you on St. John's Wort, she can't accuse you of trying to kill her, right? And try to accuse you of putting it in her stuff like she did. Yeah, exactly. So with Michael Nicholas says, I'm off everything, all natural, but due to my severe brain injury, medication affects me differently. Yeah, that's why you got to try some herbs. So herbs are more natural and could be very healing to the brain. You know, a lot of brain injuries, your brain has cells and blood vessels and stuff, and some of that heals. Injuries heal. You'll be surprised. Some of that can heal more than you think. Just look up herbs and see what kind of herbs they have. Look up herbs that heal the brain and see what you find, Michael Nicholas. You'll be surprised what you find. A brain is just a different part of the body that needs to be cared for, no different than your leg. So fair use, y'all. Let me finish playing this video of this 16-year-old girl that shot her mother, because I want you to hear the part where she's with her mom and they talking about killing people, y'all, or shooting people.
Who actually had love between them.
As soon as I come through, I let that chop off. Pow! Pow! That's not a chopper sound. As soon as I come through, I kill everybody. We killing what?
You hear that? They're using the voice in the background. As soon as I come through, I'm killing everybody is the voice content that they're using, and they're doing the little hand stuff like they both gonna kill somebody. It was just real gangster, y'all.
No, you talking to everybody. When I'm in the club, I make it rain. I'm gonna take that.
Tia Moya
They said, I'm killing everybody. I'm gonna play it again. Listen to this.
did old photos. You'd see a mother and daughter who actually had love.
And what they were saying, what the mother is in the video with the daughter saying they're gonna kill everybody. I guess everybody includes mom too, right? I would never do a video with my teenager talking about we gonna kill everybody unless Hollywood gonna pay us $80,000 a piece.
Between them.
Even then, you got to consider not doing it, right? Because, but then you're being a paid actor. That's different because you're not really saying you're gonna do that. It's just the acting role. You're acting like you're somebody else. But yeah.
As soon as I come through, I let that chop off. Pow! Pow! That's not a chop.
As soon as I come through, I let that chop off. Bow, bow. Listen to this crap. This is a mother and daughter.
As soon as I come through, I kill everybody. We killing one.
As soon as I come through, I kill everybody. Is what the voice said.
No, we kill everybody. When I'm in the club, I make it rain. I'm gonna pay.
When I'm in the club, I make it rain. Listen to this. This is, and then I'm gonna post this video in the description box below so you can watch it. Yeah, Michael Nicholas, it is disgusting. Yeah, it is. This video, from a parental standpoint, this mother probably worse than your mother. Your mother probably don't even do this, Michael Nicholas. Your mother probably better than this, and she's highly narcissistic, like you said.
Tia Moya used to call her Nia Poo, and my road dog, firstborn dog.
Yeah, that's horrible. So anyway, her daughter ended up doing exactly the skit that they was doing. I'm gonna kill everybody. That include mom too. She shot her mom 5 times, y'all. May she rest in peace. But that type of stuff, especially with teenagers listening to that crap. Your 5-year-old may not do it, but a teenager is gonna kill you. Okay, it's very bad. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. We talked about narcissists and text messaging. I'm gonna do another video later today explaining another text messaging situation. So that video will be like part 2 to narcissists and text messaging, because there's another example that I'm gonna be giving. And since Michael Nicholas asked me a time, I will be doing that at 5 p.m. and we're on the same time, of course, since you're in let me see, you're in Snohomish, Washington. So since you're in Snohomish, it should be 5 p.m. for your time as well. So because I'm on the West Coast with you as well. So let me see. Michael Nicholas says no exceptions for her. 5 times is a crime of passion. Yeah, it's just best, but keep in mind, you know where the girl got the gun from. If her mother is talking about, we gonna kill everybody, we gonna shoot everybody, however she said it. Let me play it again. However she said it, that gun probably came from that house. So the teenager is not being protected from even the weapon. That's another thing narcissistic parents do. They bring these guns in and the kids end up using them, okay?
Time in California with her father's family, training and performing. And if you looked at old photos, you'd see a mother and daughter who actually had love between them.
Have love between them, a mother and daughter that has love between them. They have a relationship that doesn't have proper boundaries, is what they have. This is your daughter. This ain't your gang member, co-gang member buddy. So they definitely had a boundary there that was being broken. Okay. So it's an inappropriate relationship, I can say that. But the other daughter, the younger daughter, the part that was good is the mother grounded her and was putting her on punishment. But this daughter doesn't respect her mother. See, when I put my son on punishments or ground my son for things, he's more respectful and maybe more likely to do what I'm saying. If I say, okay, I got to take your phone for a day, he might be more willing to do it if I'm acting like a mom, right? So let me play this again.
Who actually had love between them.
As soon as I come through, I let that chop off. Pow! Pow! That's not a chopper sound. As soon as I come through, I kill everybody. We killing one person. No, we kill everybody. When I'm in the club, I make it rain. I'm gonna pay that.
Tia Moya used to call
They crazy. They say when they're in the club, they make it rain. So yeah, as far as Michael Nicholas, let me read this comment. You sound emotionally intelligent. I'm 31. Michael, by the way. So it's not Michael, it's Michael. Yeah, thank you so much for the comment. So type yes if it's Michael instead of Michael. So Michael would be number 1, and then Michael would be number 2. And thank you for saying I'm emotionally intelligent. You know, it takes time, and so it's okay. Michael, let me see. So you said it's Michael just with the EAL. So Michael, is it Michael? Am I pronouncing it right now? So it's still pronounced Michael, right? What you're saying is pronounced Michael, but it's just spelled differently. Is it pronounced Michael? Is that okay? Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, so Michael is still correct. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this channel helps me with emotional intelligence, and you know, when you participate in the chat, it increases your emotional intelligence and mine. I learn a lot so much from the viewers. I mean, it makes me have a better heart, just you sharing your story with the fentanyl, your narcissistic mother. It helps with emotional intelligence. But yeah, emotional intelligence is very important because it keeps you out of prison. Okay. And I hope you didn't get offended when I was talking about killing. I just want you to know and understand how far narcissistic abuse can go. That's why they talk about no contact and fleeing the scene and getting away from narcissistic parents. Because it's very emotionally abusive. Some people don't kill their parents, they kill themselves. Suicidal tendencies too. See, when somebody murders, whether they murder their parents or someone else, that's a form of committing suicide because they're giving up their life to the penitentiary and putting that on their conscience. So that was my way of looking out for you. Okay. Because I'm telling you, don't do it. You know how many people wouldn't have killed somebody if somebody would have told them ahead of time, don't do it? And I speak about it, you know, in the way that I do, in the comfortable way that I do, because of homicidal ideation. I believe in certain circumstances, that's your only way out. Like someone's going to come in your house and break in and murder you. If somebody's going to come in and do like a Charles Manson on your family, I have a homicidal ideation. I believe you got to take Charles Manson out before you be like the lady, he cut the baby out her stomach. Remember crazy ass Charles Manson? So I do hold a homicidal ideation in some circumstances. But because I understand homicidal ideation, I oftentimes, you know, people with a homicidal ideation, we're not just running around killing. We're also oftentimes stopping murders before they even happen. So see, I use my homicidal ideation in a different way. And depending on if I would act out a murder, now I have homicidal intentions, right? If I'm willing to unalive Charles Manson, if he came back from the dead and brought his ass in here to do something to us, right? So because I have a homicidal ideation or homicidal intentions and a theory of that, you can look this up. It will explain what homicidal ideation is. I use it because I'm empathic to stop murders. I haven't murdered anybody as of yet, But I live and tell you, see, I know when it's coming, right? I know the spirit of it. And I know anybody, whether they a narcissistic mom or whomever they are, they piss you off. And you had mentioned earlier, let me see, I'm gonna go back to one of these messages where you talked about she needs a prosecution. Right. So see, when you said in your earlier message that she needs prosecution, that's already showing me how mad you are with her, right, Michael, Nicholas? And so she's pissing you off. So murder is right around the corner. They call it a psychotic episode, an active psychosis, especially when there's a history of drug abuse. You be done got high and kicked the shit out your mom. So I'm telling you, don't do it, because a narcissistic parent is not worth it. I'm telling you. You don't want to end up in the penitentiary. So I said it for a protection upon you, because I know how mad they'll make you. My mother and grandmother pissed me off, I'm telling you. And some people had narcissistic parents like that, and they did kill them, especially in today's era. Yeah, you're disappointed, but disappointment's first, Michael Nicholas. I would suggest limiting contact and trying to figure out maybe a way, if you want to have a relationship with your mother, where it can be healthy. Like I knew with my mother, the phone was a healthy spot. So me being out of town and us being on the phone, me and my mother could be on the phone for hours. My mother was like the therapist from heaven. That was what she was good at. My grandmother was not good at that. My grandmother had a lot of animosity towards me because I got free of her. Okay. And it was just hard. You know, my grandmother, I appreciate everything she did for me. I sure do. But you know what? My grandmother did me a favor too. Let me tell you. My grandmother leaving me and my daughter upstairs in the residential part of the restaurant. I never will let anybody neglect me on that level. And also what my grandmother taught me is money don't mean nothing when somebody neglecting and abusing you. And I will bring more of this issue up when I do the narcissist and text messaging part 2 at 5 p.m. This is narcissist and text messaging part 1. And of course I did the reaction. And you know, Michael Nicholas, 3696, he mentioned that you know, he liked my video because I was on subject, but I do kind of rear off sometimes into interesting subjects. See them other YouTubers, when they get off subject, Michael Nicholas, when they get off subject, they off subject ain't really interesting. But see, I made it interesting for you. See, so I will be back at 5 p.m. Hopefully, Michael Nicholas, you'll be able to tune in. And then make sure you check the description box below, because I'm going to be putting the fair use video below. And yeah, I'm Michael Nicholas, 3696. I will be praying for you. And subscribe if you have not subscribed, because then you'll get notice of the live. Okay? So please click subscribe. And please like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for more. I would say between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Give me until 7 p.m. Oh, thanks for subscribing, Michael Nicholas. I appreciate you so much. You said they just ramble and okay. Oh, let me tell you why they're rambling. I was watching one of HG Tudor videos that he was doing about Meghan Markle. And he had a voice expert that he told what the voice expert said. And so when someone is appearing to be rambling, there's this testing that voice specialists can put a voice through. And sometimes it can mean because the voice is disingenuous. And when someone's trying to change their voice, see, I use my real voice. I ain't trying to change nothing. The voice seems disingenuous, and there's a faking to it that ain't here. I don't fake like that. I'm just my real self. So some voices will appear like that. I'll maybe try to find that video on the voice thing that HG Tudor was talking about Meghan Markle, about why her voice sound like that, and I'll try to let me see. They make absolutely no sense. I believe they're on drugs. It's so bad. Yeah, that can be true. Some YouTubers be high. They do. That's the truth. Thank you so much for posting that comment, Michael Nicholas. So anyway, I'll be back later. And thank you for subscribing. And I got I have an extensive playlist. I have shorts, I have videos and lives. So when you come to my channel, you can go into the lives, you can go into the videos, the shorts, and the playlist. So I have videos everywhere on my channel. I've been here several years. My channel is monetized now. And so there's many different aspects to my channel that will bring you here, and you'll learn a lot. And like I said, even if somebody just subscribed to see just one thing, one person may like my lives, another person may like my playlist. My playlist, I have over 100 playlists, and I'm always updating my playlist and adding videos to my playlist. I have music playlists. I just got a lot going on. And this is why I love small channels, because there's a lot you can get with small channels that may not be on a major channel. Like, for one, you get my attention. On a small channel, I can reply to Michael Nicholas because there's not 1,000 people in the chat, right? So small channels are great because you get the attention you deserve. You can get your questions answered. That's if a small channel, some small channels just gonna ignore the chat. Every channel is different. I try not to ignore people here. So yeah, I'm gonna find these videos. So in the description box, I will be posting the fair use videos, and you could click on the link and watch this case. And yeah, then I'll try to find the analysis of the Meghan Markle voice thing that HG Tudor did. I was just watching that video a couple of days ago. So I'm going to try to find that. So within 15 to 30 minutes, I'll have the fair use videos in the description box. And yeah, let me see if I could. It's not too far here. I'll find it. It's within the last couple of days that I watched it. So I will locate that. And I'll have it in the description box for you. I sure will. Please like, share, and subscribe. And tune in for more. Let me see. Michael Nicholas says, damn, if you like rap, Joner Lucas, it's amazing. It's amazing as fuck. Definitely listen if you like rap. Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you so much for suggesting that, Michael Nicholas. I listen to rap here and there, so I'll check it out. I will check that out. And thank you for the suggestion. You never know what I'll learn from listening to it, okay? So again, please like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. And I will be back later today with part 2 of Narcissist and text messaging. Thank you so much. Bye. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Tune in for more later today with the Advanced Insight channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.